What is up, everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today's video is going to be something a little different. I'm out on the course right now, and as somebody who lives in the Northeast, we can have cold temperatures and this magical white substance called snow for 4 to 6 months or so out of the year. I just wanted to give a few accessories and tips for playing in the snow to help out the disc golfers like me who live in these conditions. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So actually, while we are right here, you can tell right now we don't have much snow, but one of the things that I know a lot of the courses in the Northeast tend to do is leave a shovel at hole 1. The whole point behind leaving the shovel at hole 1 is first card out in the day, shovel the tee pads. When you come back, finish your round, put the shovel back at the hole for, the next card that has to shovel the pads, depending on whether it's, continuous snow or whatever. But if you're not going to clean off the tee pad, throw from the side. Once you walk on them, at least on like these concrete and these paver ones, I don't know how like turf works, but most of what we have is paver or concrete. Walking on the tee pad, you're going to pack the snow down, temperature fluctuations, it's going to become ice, and by the end of the season, or after a few times of doing that, the tee pad will be unusable because it is covered with ice. So the number one thing for disc golfing in the winter, in my mind, clean the tee pads or don't throw from them. Ironically enough, with hole 1's tee pad being cleaned, I didn't think I needed to grab the shovel. Come to tee pad 2, hasn't been cleaned, and people have already played on it. So another way, if you just have a dusting, that you may be able to clean the tee pad. This is a little bit wetter snow, so it's really not cleaning it, but you can get the gist. And that's why my next tip for playing disc golf in the winter, have many extra towels. Just honestly, as many of them as you really can get in your bag, because it's never going to hurt. Snow is water. Water is wet. Extra towels, dry your discs. So that's it for tip number 2. My next tip for winter disc golf is more of a 2-part tip, but I'm a big fan of having a hand warming muff, preferably ones with a zipper where you can actually use a rechargeable hand warmer. If you don't want to throw with it on, you can usually just take it, clip it on the top of your bag. But for me, having one of these in the winter, I'll put the thing on, I'll put the hand warmer in the pouch, and kind of just keep the hands warm while you're walking around. And then when I go to throw, sometimes I'll put it behind me and just leave it on. Sometimes I'll take it off. I mean, you can do it this way. Just when walking around, a clip-on little muff pouch here with a, in my mind, rechargeable hand warmer is the next, realistically, 2 tips that I have for winter golf. My next tip for winter disc golf is going to focus on just a broad array of topics that all fall under a little bit more of the category of clothing than, say, the muff does. In my mind, layers, everybody knows, you're always told, in the cold, wear layers. You can take some stuff off, you can put some stuff back on if you really want. But the way I see it is layers. So like right now, I've got on an Under Armour base layer, a long sleeve, short sleeve, and then I don't like to throw in a jacket. I really prefer wearing one of these vests. I think the vest, honestly, it gives you all the mobility I really feel like you need. And to me, that is one of my, I feel like, biggest things in winter disc golf. But I've also thrown a couple other things in my bag that wouldn't usually be in there, like darn tough wool socks, nice, heavy, the extra thick ones that they have, great for, I mean, I wear darn tough socks pretty much every time I'm playing disc golf, but the wool extra heavy ones for winter are great. But also just having, you know, a lightweight pair of gloves. Kind of can always just keep a glove on your non-throwing hand if you really want, and then just use your hand warmer for your throwing hand, or you can honestly just wear both gloves. But for clothing, I definitely recommend some form of gloves. I kind of like a lightweight glove. Layers, I really prefer a vest, and a nice pair of wool socks will definitely give you a better experience in the cold months. Little too much turn on that one, but also threw from off the tee pad on the right. My next tip for items for winter disc golf tends to focus, I feel like, a little bit more on late season or later season winter disc golf once you've had a lot of temperature fluctuations. But having a pair of crampons to attach to your footwear, you're going to be walking on some ice in the fairways. A pair of crampons will definitely bail you out. A few tips though for crampon use. It's winter, you're wearing crampons, standstill throws. Don't be trying to, you know, turn your feet in a pair of crampons. And also, don't think about wearing the crampons onto the tee pad. Not only could it ruin the tee pad, but it actually turns the tee pad into something a lot slicker than it would be if you weren't wearing them. So my next item for winter disc golf was just get yourself a pair of crampons. Will help you with so much traction as you're just walking the fairways, anything like that. Could definitely help you. I know I've busted my ass on ice more than once, so. And then my final tip, you're gonna have to use your imagination a little, because thankfully we have not been dumped on by snow yet. But picture this hole, middle of winter, you've got a foot plus of snow out blanketing that whole field. You throw your disc, where does it go? Who knows? It ends up under the snow. So my last tip for winter golf is ribbons. Now obviously I don't have them on my discs right now because I don't need them. But go on Amazon, get yourself a spool of balloon ribbon. Keep your discs inside for this. You will want to apply them while it's warm. But at the middle of your disc, where the nub is, put down your ribbon and put a piece of tape over it. Like I said, you'll want to do this inside where it's warm. Tape's going to stick better, and it's probably going to stay on the discs longer while you're out playing. Rule of thumb, kind of hold your disc out and let it go down to where it's almost touching the ground. That way, you know, because the disc is spinning, sometimes it will go under the snow and it will spin and the whole ribbon will spool up behind it. Obviously, the longer the ribbon, the harder it is for it to do that, but the longer the ribbon, the easier it is for you to step on it. So my last tip for making winter disc golf enjoyable for you and everyone else around is putting ribbons on your discs. Thank you for watching, and get out there and throw some frisbees.